excited about the next two presenters because they're gonna lift us out of our food comas that we're in. Molly McNabb and Kelly Wilson are here to show us how laughter can be the best medicine. So welcome them to the stage.
Are you coming up too? Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh dear. These shoes I like to call, they seemed like a good idea at the time. So I'm gonna go with it. We have a couple of housekeeping issues. The first one you need your phone for. I need you to program this number into it. What? Get your phones out if you would. You don't have to, you can be like whatever, you can write it down. It is 1-800-273-8255. Just in case. It's Gayatri's direct line. She will answer it day or night, call it 2 a.m. No, it is a suicide prevention hotline. I didn't have it before in my phone before probably 8 months ago. So now I just like to start every conversation with that. Okay, and the other one is, Molly and I understand that our presentation is called Laughter is the Best Medicine, but we super want you to take your meds. Super want you to take your prescription medication. So I have today, if you haven't, this is just a reminder to take your meds. Okay, so laughter is the best medicine is a popular saying. We met over several weeks just trying to figure out, like, what do we want to say? And it's awesome because guess what? Without any collaboration with anyone else today, we came up with reframing. Thank you, universe. I love that stuff. So we started talking about how laughter, and in a broader sense, comedy, helps us to reframe our experiences. So we use humor to reframe our stories, and our stories matter. Courtney talked a little bit about reframing, about how instead of something being terrifying, it was interesting. I do that too. I call it fascinating. Oh, that's fascinating. Another example is my therapist told me this, so I assume it's true, that when you're nervous or excited, the physiological effects on your body are the same. So you can call it nervous or you can call it excited. Or in my case, excited. Very sarcastically at her. Another example is, who's been on Whole30 before? Oh, a couple people know my misery. So I was on Whole30 and I was like, what am I even gonna eat? So I started looking at recipes, and there were recipes for egg wraps. And I was like, fools, those are omelets. And I was really like, get off my lawn about it. So, but what a clever reframe, updated for Whole30. With our comedy, Molly and I talk about things that people don't want to talk about and that make people either uncomfortable to very uncomfortable. Some of the subjects we've covered include PTSD, suicide prevention, sexual abuse, hallucinations, poverty, there's more. But we talk about these and we talk about them in the context of our own experiences. And we found that first, this is our hope, that when we do this, it helps to reduce stigma. So if I can talk about it, then maybe you can talk about it with people who are safe, obviously, maybe not on a stage. And then second, it helps us to reframe our own stories, to make our own stories our own, to give us ownership over them, and to exercise power over our own lives. And that actually is really good medicine. So we are gonna do some comic interlude. We're gonna start with Molly. I am happy and proud to introduce Molly McNabb. We have performed together for something like 5 years. We can't really remember. I've started menopause, so that's fine. I've talked about it extensively at my table. You can ask any of them. She's an okay friend. We thought this was funny when we wrote it. A great comic and the proud parent of a 10-year-old cat. Please welcome Molly McNabb.
Hello, everybody. That's like call and response. It actually worked. So I keep my comedy simple. I don't improvise. I don't use props. I don't do voices. I hear voices. I just don't do them. So my name is Molly D. McNabb, MD. Little did I know going through med school, the MD would actually stand for manic depressive. Yes, I actually graduated from medical school and worked as a doctor for a while. Too bad there's not a lot of work for a doctor that spends more time hospitalized than her patients do. Yes, being a doctor and being a patient too is really hard. I know when I know more about something than they do, which is always. I seem to think I can be a doctor to myself, which is probably why I end up in the ER frequently. And nurses on the psych unit always tend to think I'm delusional. For some reason, they don't take me seriously when I say, no, really, I am a doctor. Speaking of medical school, I have a lot of debt. And living on Social Security, not a lot of ability to pay it off. So I get a lot of collection calls. They typically go like this. Hi, is this Molly McNabb? I guess. Could you provide your date of birth for identity purposes? At this point, I realize they're going to try to get money out of me with little result. Dr. McNabb, I'm calling you because you have an outstanding student loan balance of $356,542. And I'm wondering how you'd like to take care of that today. Visa, check by phone. Oh, well, I have $12 left in the bank until next month. So I could give you $2 of that. Would that help? When do you think you'll have the money? Should I call back next month? I'm looking forward to our next chat. Okay, guys, we need to talk about all those people on welfare that you see in the grocery store whipping their food stamp card out of their designer purses while holding their iPhone and buying organic quinoa. Holy crap, that's me! It's been a long way to fall from being a doctor to being on welfare. I used to think about all the places I could go to dinner. Now I think about all the ways I can cook a potato without electricity. So about a year ago, I was on the verge of homelessness. I was all set to move into this house, and it turned out to be a crack house. Long story short, you can't turn a crack house into a crack home. But I was one of the lucky ones. I quickly found a place to live. It's an apartment for people with mental health challenges. And which I clearly qualify for. I don't get in the back door or anything, but so this apartment, it comes with a roommate who also has mental health challenges, which I didn't luck out and get the kind of roommate that has the cleaning type of OCD. We both kind of settle for lived in, really lived in. But there is one place in our apartment that is just pristine all the time. The shower. Don't get too close to me. We are not the best at showering, my roommate and I. You get a little depressed and that's the first thing to go. So I've learned, with this whole roommate thing and, moved into this apartment that I'm just not too good at making friends. Apparently, to make friends the standard way, you have shared interests with people and you're apparently you go up to someone and you're like, hi, my name is Molly and I like dogs or whatever you do. I don't know, beats me. Like, I go up to someone and I like overshare. I'm just an overshare. I'm like, hi, so I don't know how to give myself an enema. And then like, they have to be friends with me for life. Like that can be like blackmail material down the road. Uh-oh, so now we all are friends. It's okay, I'm a really good friend. I'm really loyal. I'm a really good designated driver if you need one. Okay, no takers today. I'll keep trying. Okay, so believe it or not, like I'm actually trying to get back out there and start dating, but like it's kind of hard to get back out there, and like apparently lying is frowned upon on these dating websites. Like, so like I have to take my kind of boring life and make it sound a little more exciting, and so like I've been saying like, oh, I like to watch films. And well, that's just watching the same movies I've been watching since college and turning the closed captioning on. It's like Zoolander with the subtitles, same thing. And then I like to say, oh, I love to bake. And they're like, what do you like to bake? I love Italian food. Guys, it's Papa Murphy's Pizza. $4.25 for 12 to 18 minutes. And then they're like, oh, what do you like to do? I love hiking. That's just parking at the end of the Winco parking lot. If you carry your bags, it's also called backpacking. So it's also a little hard having a mental health challenge. It's also hard kind of meeting people, and eventually it comes around to like your number. It's not your number of sexual partners. It's your number of medications, of hospitalizations, therapy appointments each week. So, yeah, as I mentioned, I do see a therapist every week. And so my therapist and I have been working on assertiveness for months. Eventually, I'm going to work up the assertive communication to be able to assertively ask for a new therapist. Yeah, my therapist has also been trying to work it with boundaries, like the restraining order she got against me. That what about Bob thing didn't go so well. So as she mentioned, I have a cat, like all single ladies these days, and she's also my therapy cat. I don't know what therapy involves getting ignored, bitten, and scratched. So guys, I have, technically I have schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, if we want to get the full thing down, but I have some manic episodes every now and then. And one manic episode, I started a Mary Kay business. I don't wear makeup. I am a terrible salesperson. Still no pink Cadillac. Not driving that yet. But I have a basement full of eye makeup and lipstick if anyone wants to come over after the show. Had it for years. Another manic episode, I went to the craft store and bought every cake decorating supply they had. My cat is a little tired of having birthdays, but she does like the birthday parties better than the Mary Kay makeovers. So guys, I know we're in Portland. There's not a lot of people that watch TV in Portland, but I live in Vancouver, so we watch TV over there. And I was watching TV late one night, 2 in the morning. Couldn't sleep. And has anybody ever seen Everybody Loves Raymond? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, good. So he came on, it was about 2 in the morning, and Raymond himself asked me to make him a sandwich. He wanted a ham and provolone sandwich. And I was like, Raymond, you're in the middle of your show. Why aren't you acting? And he's like, no, I'm hungry. Come on, Molly. And I was like, I only have turkey and Swiss, Raymond. And he's like, no, I want ham and provolone. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, okay, well, I got in my car and drove to Winco and bought some ham and some provolone, some fancy mustard, because he was pretty demanding. And so I went back and backpacked through the parking lot. I got home and I made the sandwich. He was on to the next show, but he was still demanding that sandwich. And then I made it up. It was fancy. I sat it there by the TV, kind of waited there for him to eat it. It went on to I Love Lucy, and I was like, oh, he didn't eat my sandwich. And then I kind of thought maybe something's going on upstairs that, I'm kind of having a bad night. So I called the crisis line, and we kind of decided together that maybe it was time for me to go to the hospital. FYI, guys, if you're making a sandwich for somebody on TV, just skip the crisis line and go to the hospital anyway. It saves time. But I went to the hospital, and I wasn't dangerous or anything, so they put me in the part of the hospital where normal people were, but they put me in there with a sitter. And the sitter's somebody that just make sure you don't take your clothes off and run through the ER. Not that I speak from experience on that one. But, so the sitter is just sitting in there with me, silent. She's playing her Sudoku or whatever she's doing. After about an hour, I was like, are you real? And she goes, do you want a sandwich? Okay, that's it from me.